Kal Kadosh, Boker Or, Mishna Yomi Masechet Batra, Perek Vav, chapter 6, Mishnah Aleph and Bet. Okay? One and 2. Hamocher Perol Lechavero, if you're going to sell produce to your fellow friend, Velot Simchu, and what happened was he planted it, but it didn't sprout forth. So imagine you bought something, you want to plant it, you plant nothing grows. So what happens? Right? Vafiru Zerapishan, even if it's going to be flax seeds, which are usually bought, right, for planting. Right? So he says, Eno chayav b'chriyutan. You're not chayav b'chriyutan. Right? Why? Because maybe he sold it as food and not as to be planted. Yeah? Okay. So he says, Rabban Shimon says, we're talking about now zirunegina, which is basically going to be garden seeds that are not edible. So that you are obligated by because you can't eat it. Meaning until now, I could always say, listen, so maybe he bought it to eat. He probably wanted to. No, but maybe he bought it to eat. So therefore, I'm going to be patur. Why? He shouldn't have planted it. Maybe he should have eaten it. But this is something that you can't eat. So if it's not edible, for sure you're doing it for what? For the planting, right? That was the first Mishnah.
Depends on the.
Right, 100%.
So
okay.
The question. If
Mishnah Bet. Mishnah Bet says, if you're going to sell produce to your friend, so again, obviously this is going in. We would have to find out nowadays how it does. But basically what he's trying to say is that for every single, you have to accept a quarter of a kav of impurities for every single se'ah. Okay, so basically it's 1/24th. That's what he says here. So basically in percentage-wise, it's 1/24th, which is going to be what? 4%, basically. Around 4%, right? More or less. Okay? But think about it. If it's 1/24th, so it's 2 out of 48, and it's going to be 4 out of 96, right? So let's pretend it's 4%. So 4% of impurities. So imagine I've got like 1 kilo. So whatever it is, 4% of that 1 kilo could be of pebbles and stones, right? So that's why sometimes you'll buy a pizza and you could have a little bit of stones or whatever. Fine. Te'anim. Yeah, he says over here like this. Figs. So to do with figs, you could have 10 wormy figs out of 100. So this is 10%. So means imagine. So that means if it's talking about perot with different grains or beans, so that's going to be 4%. Te'anim, figs, 10%. So that just shows you how much bugs and everything are in the tolaim. That's why you have to be very, very careful. Right? Obviously, strawberries, other things as well. Martev shel yain, a seller of wine. Again, 10%. So that means why? Because you're going to have 10% of the wine that's not going to be good. So they're going to be kosesot, right? To the mea, right? Kankanim basharon. When we're talking about earthenware vessels, earthenware barrels, which are going to be in the Sharon Valley of Eretz Yisrael, also you're going to accept 10 barrels for each 100 because again it was poor quality and therefore they knew that there would be a crack, there would be this, there would be a leak, there would be that. So 10%. Again, this is just the general right of what we're speaking about.